Friday Night Lights means it's time for the final score. Your home for hard hits, big plays, and the Basin's #1 football show. The Final Score, brought to you by these sponsors.
Man, those hits sound like they really pack a punch right there. Welcome into the Final Score. I'm Ben Peck. She's Erin Reynolds.
There
we understand
we go.
there was some confusion with that a little bit at the end of the show last week.
Yes, happy
But
to
here
clear
we
that
are.
up. Thank you guys so much for choosing to spend your Friday night with us. Ben, I have to say, week 2, I'm feeling a little bit of deja vu.
You know, I think so. I was looking through, we go through the games, we look at who's playing who, and I thought, Fort Stockton, Alpine, our game of the week, and this is a 2020 special, as I've been calling it. Something you don't see every day. A regular season rematch, not from, 6-man JV versus varsity, but from the week before. Fort Stockton and Alpine, by the way, the last game, a classic, providing another excellent game here tonight.
What happened?
All right, so I mentioned how that Fort Stockton Alpine game was a classic last week. Fort Stockton scored the game-winning touchdown with 39 seconds left to win by 4. But this game now at Jackson Field in Alpine. So here we go. The Panthers coming out. They're trying to keep it rolling. And again, Sul Ross State, a beautiful stadium, hosting this to allow more fans with all the COVID-19 risk mitigation measures in effect. As for the offense, the view was great from the stadium. The offense view was not great early on. Jaden Canaba's pass to Diego Monclova, but a quick tackle by A.J. Garcia. And then the Bucks, they had to punt. Alpine getting in on the tackle right there. Dominic Aguilar's pass to Darren Uresti with a quick hit there as well. Here's the first really big play of the game. Pedro Vasquez breaking tackles, I believe, at one point in years prior, our athlete of the week. 40-yard gain right there for the Panthers, and then turnover on downs after that. But here we go. Some scoring after an Alpine turnover. Dominic Aguilar to Jaylee Ibarra, 7-0 Panthers over the Bucks. They're going to go 14-0 here. Dominic Aguilar down the left sideline. 14-0 Fort Stockton at the half. But we got to see how this went in the second half. Bucks driving late, and a nice, powerful run up the middle. And then the next play, it's 14-13. Bucks take the lead, 20-14. Here we go. Final play of the game. One last shot for Fort Stockton. The fighting Bucks fighting their way to the quarterback, and they get to him right there. Wow. Alpine holds on. They get the revenge they were looking for. 20-14, the final over the Panthers. A phenomenal game, and we have a phenomenal reporter out there covering this game. Jake Eichstedt, able to catch up with the winning head coach.
Ben, Aaron, welcome to Sul Ross State Stadium, guys. This was an incredible game. For the second week in a row, the same two teams, Fighting Bucks and Panthers, playing each other once again. It was another incredibly close game. However, I got Coach John Fellows because they inched it out at the very end. Coach, now, of course, you guys scored all of your points in the second half, but let's talk about the defense first and how special they were for the whole 48 minutes.
You know, our defense has been special the last year. We hired Jerry Dominguez, and he came in and has done a tremendous job with our defense. And they fly around, they attack, it's simple, and they bailed us out of a lot of situations.
And I got to ask, in the first half, you guys didn't seem to open up the passing very much. In the second half, you had a couple long passes, and then, of course, quarterback Canaba taking over a lot with his legs as well. So talk about kind of those adjustments that you guys made.
We didn't really make a whole lot of adjustments. All we did was just tell these kids to keep fighting till the end. We knew it was going to be a 48-minute ball game, and they did, man. That's why they call them the Alpine Fighting Bucks.
Absolutely.
And Canaba's done a tremendous job. He played a lot for us last year, and he just kind of took the game over.
He did. He absolutely did. I mean, with 1 minute left, that run by him.
I don't know. That last drive was 99 yards or something like that. I mean, that's unbelievable. And we had a bunch of kids drop early, and we're only going to be better down the road.
And I know, speaking down the road, you guys got the Wink Wildcats up next. What are you going to take away from this game into next week?
Hey, we're going to play 48 minutes. They're a very good football team. They're ranked number 5 in the state. So we just got to make sure we continue to work on ourselves and get better each week.
Coach John Fellows, thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
2020, we can fist bump. I usually
Thanks.
shake hands. Of course, everything is changing.
I understand.
Of course, they got the Wink Wildcats next week after a great 2014 win here after the the Panthers beating them after the Week 1 loss. Got the win back this week. Ben, Aaron, back to you guys.
All right, Jake, thank you so much, and thank you, Coach Fellows. Congrats to the Fighting Bucks for getting that big win over Fort Stockton. Next up, we have Monahans visiting Andrews, always a classic rivalry. So let's head out to the Mustang Bowl.
Check it out. Mustangs coming into this 1-0 after a win last week. Monahans 0-1 after falling to Fredericksburg.
A little bit, there's a call on the play there, so Andrews getting into a little bit of trouble. Here's Monahans trying to make some moves, but it's an interception by the Mustangs. So defense and offense getting to work here. We're going to take a look at the offensive side of the ball for the Mustangs. Nice little gain here for Andrews before being pushed out of bounds.
35-7, Mustangs in the lead at this point. E.J. Lopez, big game, filling in at quarterback, and
Yes,
another
his
nice
first year.
offensive showing.
First year he's been killing it. So let's take a look at the score for this one. Monahans hangs in there a little bit, but Andrews still manages to get the win, 42-21.
Nice start for the Mustangs, and believe it or not, even with this show, we go so long, Aaron, but there's even more that we don't have time to get to and get off our chests, so to speak. We do have a solution for it, though. Final Score Overtime, you can catch it every week, yourbasin.com. Every Wednesday, there we give some analysis on the past week of games, break down some of these upcoming matchups. Always a good time, I'd say. No, Aaron?
Yes, I think everybody should tune in.
We announce our game of the week. Also, be the first to find out. Again, that's Final Score Overtime every week on our website, yourbasin.com.
Yeah, we're just getting started here on the real Final Score. Coming up, Ira Ann and Reagan County facing off in Big Lake. One team guaranteed to pick up its first win since 2018.
Hungry for a victory, those two teams. Also, number 5, Wink. They were going for a 2-0 start, taking on a coach that actually has some ties to the Sol City. We have many, many more highlights as well. That's all coming up when the best show in the Basin rolls on.
You're watching The Final Score, brought to you by these sponsors.
Welcome back. One of the big results last week, Greenwood starting off with a big win over Lubbock Estacado out at Grande, 28-12, the final in week 1.
Yeah, pretty exciting result for the Rangers, of course, coming off that state semifinal appearance from a year ago. Rangers were on the road this time, though, and just pick your favorite color, Greenwood, or Brownwood. The Lions, though, they were a little shorthanded on the sidelines for this game, sort of a very 2020 situation.
Yes, Brownwood head coach Sammy Burnett beginning a 2-week quarantine after possible exposure to COVID-19. Fortunately, he has not tested positive for the virus.
Yeah, we certainly hope that everything stays on track there for Mr. Burnett.
Yes.
All right, Greenwood taking on Brownwood. Pretty good game down Abilene, San Angelo-ish area. Pretty good.
Brownwood moving the ball here. They complete the pass and get the ball to the Rangers' 3-yard line. So set up to score here. Then on the following play, Royshad Henderson going to take the handoff and punch it in. So Brownwood gets on the board first. They lead 7-0. Later on in the quarter, Brownwood defense steps up and stops Greenwood at the goal line on 4th down. Brownwood looking pretty strong to start off this game. Remember, they started off the year 0-1, but on the next play, Greenwood defense stops Henderson in the end zone. That's a safety.
That's 2, folks.
7-2 Brownwood. After that, taking a look at the final here, Brownwood gets a big win at home over Greenwood, 35-15. So the Rangers are even at 1-1 on the season.
Yeah, Brownwood, a pretty good team there, I believe, in 4A Division I. So
without their head coach.
Yeah, and I don't know if we've heard the last from the Rangers despite that setback. Okay, Shallow Water taking on Seminole. Shallow Water, big win over Abernathy. Seminole, a big defeat against Dumas, one of the best teams in 4A. So let's head out to Wigwam Stadium. Seminole honoring its seniors before this game. In the first quarter, still scoreless. Indians defense showing up. Look at this. Boom! Woo! That ball popped up about 5 feet in the air. Sloan rolling, applying the hit, and Seminole recovers the fumble. Later on, though, the Mustangs offense making those corrections. Brecken Ramos, airing it out to Mason Inker. And they would convert on 4th down later this drive, Shallow Water. But after that, more defense. This time, Elijah Beard, interception. So we have no score after the first quarter. Finally, in the second quarter, somebody gets on the scoreboard. It's going to be the Mustangs' Bax Townsend, acting like he's going to pass, but actually he kept it, folks. And he snuck in for the touchdown. Shallow Water on the board first, and they go on to get the win in this one, 34-14. Shallow Water off to a 2-0 start. Seminole 0-2. They've got a lot of pieces. We talked to Coach Palmer that they're trying to replace this year, so a process for the Indians.
Yeah, and Pecos also playing its first game of the season tonight, and they lose in a tough one to San Angelo Lakeview, 44-41. The Eagles scrimmaged against Crane last week, which is why they are just now starting.
Yes, and then we mentioned McCamey and Kermit. They had their season opener postponed, a late addition to the schedule. Floydada and Kermit, so Kermit, this is their first game of the year, but the Whirlwinds, a sneaky good nickname if I don't say so, 22-6 win over the Yellow Jackets.
Some more scores here for you. Lamesa also on the road against Muleshoe. Muleshoe? All right.
Gotta love the Mules.
And the Golden Tours are going to fall to 0-2 on the season following a 42-6 loss.
Muleshoe is the home of Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma. Coach. There you go. Kahoma and Miles. Now these mascots, I mean, come on, Aaron. That's someone's ripping somebody off. We'll settle it here. Battle of the Bulldogs. Miles hosting Kahoma. And here we go. Kahoma already leading 7-0 at this point, looking for more. Colt Redden again stepping in for Zach Schneider this year at quarterback. A dime to Sean Striegler, their top offensive weapon in that passing game. 14-0 Kahoma in the first quarter. He's certainly a big help right there. Another big weapon, Bryson Kirby. He gets the handoff and just plows his way into the end zone. Touchdown for the Bulldogs, 21-0 Kahoma. They keep their foot on the gas pedal. Kirby, he's going to be the focal point of that running game, and he's taking it in for his second touchdown of the game, 28-0 Kahoma, and they would go on to get a shutout victory over Miles, 49-0. So I guess we settled it. Looks like Kahoma had the logo first there.
Y'all get to keep the mascot.
Yeah.
All right, keeping it rolling with some games here. Odessa Compass Academy, their first season, varsity season ever in program history, taking on Ropes. Both of these teams looking for their first win of the season. So we'll take it out to Ropes.
Ropesville. Good old Ropesville. On the ropes.
Quarterback R.J. Madrano hands off to Zach Schroll there, who would run this in to get from the 2-yard line to get the Eagles on the board, 7-0. Tyler Gillum going to sub out as quarterback this time. Madrano gets the scoring, running this one in for 27 yards, dodging tackles left and right. Eagles go up 13-0, but here's the Cougars trying to get some work on offense, but throwing an interception. Picked off by Brady McCombs there, which would set up the offense for this.
Raiden Reap, 9-yard touchdown reception.
And there it is. Compass kept off the scoreboard. Taking a look at your final, 61-0. Cougars start off the season 0-2 following that loss.
Now, we told you about Pecos. They scrimmaged Crane last week, so Crane, this is also their season opener on the road against Colorado City, and the Golden Cranes looking pretty good. 37-0 shutout win over the Wolves, off on a good foot.
And speaking of another team that got a shutout victory their first game of the season, Stanton visiting Merkel.
Ooh.
This one not ending quite as well for the Buffs, 22-24 against the Badgers, so Stanton evens up their record at 1-1.
Yeah, Stanton, that week 1 win, they allowed 90 yards of total offense. So Buffs defense still looking pretty good.
Yep.
All right, Ira Ann
Here we go, Ben.
and Reagan County. One of these teams is going to end a double-digit losing streak. They both ended 2019 0-11. Let's get to it. Ira Ann, they elected to receive, but after a turnover on downs, Reagan County has the ball. Jacob Gallego making moves, going down the field 50 yards. Not quite for a touchdown, but for a first down. Don't you hate it when that happens. Gallego then, he's going to show off his guns. Rips it over to Raymond Saldivar. Owls, touchdown, 8-0 after the conversion. Ira Ann ball, but going to be a turnover on down, so Reagan County gets it back. Gallego one more time, 35 yards, and Christian Galindo staying with it for the 42, the touchdown that made it 42-0 at the half Owls keep on the pressure, 62-0. So a 13-game losing streak for the Owls. It comes to an end. Congrats to Reagan County. A long time in the making.
Yeah, that's a big win for the Owls. Some more scores here for you. Forest Sand losing a tough one to Big Spring last week. Was it Big Spring?
Yes, in the Howard County Bowl.
And they lose this one as well. Not nearly as close, though.
Post, they were the state finalists last year, number 3 in 2A Division I. So no shame in maybe coming up a little short against the Antelopes.
Yeah, 39-7 there, though. So Forest Sand down to 0-2.
Yes. All right. Wink hosting Ozona, 2 1-0 teams. Wink number 5, 2A Division II. And fun fact about Ozona, we've talked about it a little bit online. Former Midland High assistant coach is now the first-year head coach for the Lions, Jared Taylor. So congratulations to him, off to a 1-0 start. Now keep an eye on where this punt lands. Ozona punting after a 3-and-out on the first series. It goes off the Wink player, and so they're going to bounce on it for Ozona. And turnover, Matthew De La Garza jumps on it, but if you like turnovers, you came to the right place. Jose Munoz is going to get this reception, and then he coughed it up. Wildcats, they pounced on it, but then Wink, their first play from scrimmage, Cannon Gibson to his receiver over the middle, and Joe Perez forces this fumble. This was, Aaron, this was like the first 4 minutes of the game. 3 turnovers, scoreless after the first quarter. We have to show you this hit. Mac Payne.
You know, looks like a bear down. I'm going to throw it out.
We might see that on Base and Gridiron. Nice tackle there. Wink, though, similar to last week with Cristobal, that slow start, but 35-19. They would find a way to get the win, so the Wildcats off to a 2-0 start.
And I think we mentioned it earlier in the show, but McCamey unable to play their Week 1 game against Kermit because they had Kermit had a student test positive for COVID-19, so that was canceled. So, first game of the year, taking on Menard out in McCamey.
Let's do it.
Badgers on defense toward the start of the second quarter here. And that's Caleb Johnson there with a big sack. So the Badgers going to take over. Following that, get it started on offense. About 9 minutes left in the second here. Ivan Rubio to Rodriguez, who runs this one down the right sideline. He's going to get the score. Badgers take a 35-6 lead after the extra point. Strong start for McCamey in their first game of the season. And they get a huge win for the Yellow Jackets, or for the Badgers, I mean, 56-6.
Nicely done by the Badgers there. Now we begin perhaps one of my favorite parts of the show, the 6-man shuffle, as I like to call it. Last week's game of the week, the 2 top-ranked teams in Division I, Division II, Rankin and Balmorhea.
Yeah, and it did not disappoint. A little sloppy at times, very close game in the end. Red Devils sneaking by the Bears. Both teams holding on to their number 1 spot in the polls, though.
That they did, and Rankin, they were taking on White Deer tonight. Now, these are 2 very good teams. Of course, we told you Rankin, number 1. White Deer there in the top 10 as well, checking in at number 6. But the Red Devils making some nice work of them. 73-34 the final.
Well, I'm sure Balmorhea had a little fuel in their fire after losing to
I would say so.
Rankin. So, taking on Fort Davis this evening. Fort Davis Indians taking on the Bears. We're going to start off with Balmorhea ball. Pitch from Angel Iniguez to Thomas Sendejas all the way up the right sideline. 7-0 Bears early on. So, yeah, they're a little excited to be back out there. Here's another score again. Angel Iniguez this time going to take it to Lane Carrasco, none other. Touchdown Bears, 16-0. Bears going to get the ball back again, and another Carrasco touchdown. We just same play again and again.
Good defense
Fort Davis,
right there.
Not going away though. Kickoff return by Oscar Morales. Going to give it to Blake Rubio, who fools everybody.
Oh my goodness.
24-8. So Fort Davis gets on the board. Indians get the ball back, and it's a bad snap. So it rolls into the end zone, recovered by Laura Mata. 35-8 Bears right before the halftime. Indians with another good kick return. Get inside the 20. Quarterback Elian Treviso rolls right, and he's going to hit Oscar Morales. So
looks like some happy coaches
lots of offense here. 48-14 Bears at half. Ends up being 62-14. Indians not able to get on the board in the second half. So Balmorhea Bears finally get that much-needed win. I'm sure they have. It's just a relief. You know, a little bit of an exhale for Balmorhea.
I would say so. All right, Borden County, this is a little bit of an upset. Westbrook, they got a Motley County last week, one of the top teams in Division II, and they get the Borden County Coyotes at home. 44-30. Coyotes were ranked number 3 in Division I, but going down here.
And another historically strong team, Garden City, visiting O'Donnell, and tough loss on the road for the Bearcats, 88-50 for the Eagles.
Yes.
So Garden City falls to 0-2 to start off the year.
Lots of offense in that game. Very young team for Garden City, we should point out. Grady on the road at Lorraine. The Bulldogs get the win, 38-28. The Wildcats falling to 0-2.
Buena Vista got a nice win to start off the year, taking on Dawson, and they lose a close one, 52-48. The Dragons. I love that mascot, by the way.
Now, Dawson, they haven't played football in a couple of years. They actually returned after a little hiatus. So,
well, it seems like they're doing all right.
I think so. That was their season opener. Not too bad. Longhorns, close game, though.
Yeah.
Permian Basin Co-op taking on Grand Falls Loyalty Cowboys. The Cowboys, number 7 in Division II for 6-man. They improved to 2-0, 54-6.
Another team that Ben likes to go on little rants about, the Sands Mustangs taking on Westbrook JV this evening. Sands gets a 48-0 win.
They did, snapping a 16-game losing streak for the Mustangs. They're going to be one of the better improved teams in the area. All right, Midland, TLCA taking on Klondike. You want to talk about a team that got some headlines last week. Here are my final thoughts. Klondike, they're coming off a big win over McLean, and here we go up to Dawson County. First quarter, TLCA has the ball, but it's going to be the Cougars who end up getting it back on the board first, I should say. The safety, Jackson Rains, and Kyler Pepper. He's no doctor, but he's a hell of a tackler. Later on in the first, Josh Erzmendez, he takes it on the far sideline, 8-0 Cougars. Second quarter, TLCA trying to get it going here. Tucker Fixon, a nice interception. And this one just kind of sums up the game. Klondike running away with it, 52-0 over the Eagles. Nicely done right there. Now, we do want to congratulate, they're not playing this week, our athlete of the week, Gabriel Baeza, Big Spring quarterback, had a heck of a performance in League One.
Like Ben mentioned, steers off this week. Last Friday, Baeza accounting for all 6 touchdowns. 4 of them passing, 2 of them just took them himself. Big Spring off to a 1-0 start for the first time since 2014.
All right.
And we have tons of great plays tonight. Which one will take home the top honor? We don't know either. Play of the week coming up.
And that's not all. We've also, it wouldn't be a proper high school football show without some tunes or Zerns or Owns. Some bops.
Some bops.
Our band of the week performance, that's on the way.
You're watching The Final Score, brought to you by these sponsors.
Well, Aaron, it's been exciting to see high school football again in West Texas. A big part of the atmosphere, of course, the music in the stands.
Yes, wouldn't be the same without those bands. It's time for us to spotlight our band of the week.
Yes, this Friday we head out to Wink, and these aren't your typical cats, Aaron. They call themselves the Bad Cat Marching Band. The Bad Cats right there. Bravo once again. And their show is concluded, but we are going to get back here on the field.
Yeah, that's right. It is time, finally, for our final score play of the week. So what's it going to be?
Well, let's figure it out. Don't blink. You might miss it, we're told. Oh, we're going out to Fort Davis. A little handoff. And Oscar Morales just said, hey, Blake Rubio. You take it.
I've watched it twice now, and I get fooled
right
every time.
Right here, watch. He's going to hand it off
It's
right
so
there.
sneaky.
Woo! He got tackled, didn't he? No, there he goes.
No
Gone.
one even knew what was happening.
Nicely done. Bears get the win, but Fort Davis coming away with our play of the week. Nicely done. That was pretty resourceful right there.
I know.
Well, our last commercial break is coming up, but when we come back, we bring you our final thoughts. Another crazy week of high school football in West Texas.
You're watching The Final Score, brought to you by these sponsors.
Well, we are through week 2 of high school football. A few teams forced to wait a little bit longer to start their season with the season opener, but finally able to get out there.
Yeah, as always, a lot of fun matchups, and our game of the week didn't, and it never disappoints.
Oh my goodness.
Fort Stockton and Alpine, the sequel.
I want to see more of how that game ended. These two teams, they saw each other last week. We saw Jake Eichstedt earlier in the show, so in keeping with that theme, we're going to hear his final takeaways from this game.
Ben, Aaron, welcome back to Alpine. An absolute slugfest between these teams. 2 weeks in a row, actually. Of course, Fort Stockton edging out Alpine on a last-second touchdown last week. The reverse happened this week. Alpine was down 14-0 at halftime. They were frankly, they were getting outplayed, did not get any yards on offense, and those 2 Fort Stockton touchdowns really just came from, long drives, although one did come off a turnover. But Fort Stockton really was dominating this first half. To me, the big change of this game came, I don't know if it was Coach Fellows' decision, the offensive staff's decision. It seemed like they opened up the offense a lot more, throwing down the field, allowing Jaden Canaba to run around. That kid is fast. He is really fast. Sweeps up the middle. He even had a fumble touchdown, basically, off a bad exchange with the running back. But really, the second half story was Jaden Canaba and the Fightin' Bucks. Not to play on words, but they just kept fighting, showed incredible resolve. And that was the story of the second half. Fort Stockton getting no points, and the Fightin' Bucks getting all that they needed to barely edge out Fort Stockton. Now, of course, they have Wink coming up next week, and that's been a successful team so far the beginning of this season. We'll see how the Fighting Bucks fare against the Wildcats. That's going to do it for me in Alpine, guys. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Jake. I hope you have a safe trip back. Hope you get back here in a timely fashion. But
yes.
Aaron, we had some interesting results. Anything in particular stand out to you?
So I think it's always easy for me to grasp what teams I think do well, especially like when I go to the games.
Yes.
It's way easier to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So McCamey playing their first game of the season after last week's cancellation, and right when I showed up, I just thought the Badgers were, on a roll. It was already 20-7 whenever I got there, so lots of scoring done just in the first half. And this is, an experienced team now, second year under head coach Woodard, so I think they're finally just getting a grasp and getting, filling their shoes.
Yeah, I think so. For me, I'm gonna say it's a little bit of a cop-out, I suppose. I'm gonna go just a lot of upset. Some of them not as much as others, but one team in particular kind of surprising, Borden County. I thought, and I still think they have a really good shot to potentially make a deep postseason run. They go down. Some other surprising teams, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, Greenwood going down to Brownwood.
Yeah.
That was perhaps a little bit surprising. Crane, a nice win. I'm trying to see here. But Pecos, I was a little surprised by that win. San Angelo Lakeview against Pecos. I think San Angelo Lakeview could be very good this year. It seems like they're really making a play for that district title.